shortstop position, but it really appears as though Junel Escobar has found a home here in Toronto.
Well, there's so many leaders on this ball club, and one of those is Jose Bautista, and Junel Escobar really listens to what Bautista has to say. They're always talking. If it's in spring training, next to each other at shortstop and third base, on the bench, in between at bats, and just like his buddy, he must be listening and learning, because in last night's ball game, he came through with a big home run, just like Bautista would. I don't think it's going to be too long before he becomes a leader of this team also.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. He had 3 hits in the game last night, including the decisive 2-run home run in the bottom of the 10th. Junel Escobar truly looks as though he's about ready to blossom as a star here with the Blue Jays. Now let's go back to the BlackBerry broadcast studio here at Rogers Center. Here's Jamie Campbell.
Good.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. It's game 2 of a 3-game series against the Oakland Athletics. Junel Escobar takes his spot in the infield. He had a big night last night, 3 hits, including a game-winning home run in the bottom of the 10th. The Oakland lineup tough last night. They had 6 doubles and a home run, but it wasn't enough to beat the Blue Jays in the opener. Coco Crisp off to a good start. He's the guy that sets the tone at the top of the order. Josh Willingham off to a good start. He has both of the Athletics home runs so far. Hideki Matsui was not in the lineup last night. He's a career .316 hitter against the Blue Jays. He's back in a DH spot tonight, but this Athletics team poised to face Jesse Litch for the first time.
Yeah, makes his 2011 debut and is very optimistic about this season despite the last 2 years being cut short by injuries. Tommy John surgery back in 2009. He returned in mid-June very quickly last year, but was only able to pitch in 9 starts before undergoing hip surgery. That's why you see the inflated numbers for Jesse Litch in yesterday. And he has had great success against the Oakland A's.
Overall, the Blue Jays have committed 4 errors, but their defense has been exceptional. Davis has been very good in the outfield. Travis Snider throwing very well early on. Juan Rivera continues to play in right field in place of Jose Bautista. The infield has turned 7 double plays. They've done a good job. It's Encarnacion and Escobar on the left side, Hill and Lind on the right side, and the rookie J.P. Arancibia is back behind the plate. We are all set to go here at Rogers Center. Coco Crisp will step in to lead things off. Crisp had a hit in 5 at-bats. He doubled and struck out in last night's game. Jesse Litch with a fastball for his start game here tonight.
Executing in the bottom of the strike zone, I think tonight will be the key for Jesse Litch. He's always liked to work very quickly. Hit the baseball and throw it, and when he is down in the zone, he is very good with that great movement.
Late life, but the ball was below the knees on Chris. 2 balls and a strike. This is Litch's first start since August 1st last year. He had surgery to repair a right labral tear in his hip. Ball is popped up, foul territory. Encarnacion over near the wall on the track, pops out of his glove. Boy, he made a long run, got to the ball, had room, but had to just go off his glove into the seats.
Playing in to defend against the bunt, but you're right. Went a long way, had the ball in his glove, and it just popped out. Maybe it hit him on the fingers parts of the glove.
Had a good idea where he was in relationship to that wall. It wasn't a problem, just had it bounce off his glove. 2-2 count to Crisp. Just missed the outside corner. Tough pitch to lay off of. Pulled to first. Underhand toss right on the money. Crisp is retired. Lots of work going on prior to batting practice every day here at Rogers Center early in the season. Brian Butterfield has really been busy.
Yeah, the more you can work with the infielders, especially infielders who are not comfortable just yet at their position, you've got to get that repetition and you've got to get that muscle memory down. And that's something that Adam Lind has been doing just about every day on this homestand, coming out with Brian Butterfield, getting the feel for playing first base.
It's important to take advantage of being here at Rogers Center and get your extra work in. First pitch, strike thrown to Derek Barton. Brian Butterfield talking to Jason Nix, and Nix, of course, the newest Blue Jay, getting some instruction about the nuances here at Rogers Center. That ball is drilled to right field. Rivera, long run, just off the warning track, makes the catch. 2 outs.
With 2 outs here in the first inning, let's take a look at the scouting report tonight, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Jesse Litch has that natural cutter that Greg Zaun was talking about in the opening. He's 92 with a 4-seam fastball, so he's got a little get up with that fastball. Improve when that off-speed pitch, his slider, curveball, changeup, those have to improve, and he's got to throw them for strikes, and he does have good command. Last year, we're going to throw those out, the numbers that we saw. from Litch. He was just not healthy. First his arm and then his hip. So throw those out. When he is on, like he did a couple of years ago, he throws a lot of strikes.
David De Jesus moves into the third spot in the lineup tonight for Bob Guerin's Athletics. Ball on the strike to the Oakland right fielder. De Jesus had a pair of hits in last night's game. Hit sixth in the order against JoJo Reyes, the left-hander.
He hit the top of the lineup when he was with the Kansas City Royals just a few years ago. He's always had a good eye, good on-base percentage. Sprays the ball around the field.
Bounced right back to Litch. Easy inning for Jesse Litch. A 1-2-3 first. His debut. Rajai Davis will start things off. He got it going last night in the Toronto Blue Jays are leading the American League at hitting as a team at .304. They also have 17 walks in their first 4 games of the season. Top of the order did the number last night in the 10th inning. Rajai Davis, Junel Escobar. Lind and Hill move up to 3 and 4 respectively without Jose Bautista. Rivera, Encarnacion, and Snider. And the lineup will round out with Aaron Sebe and the DH tonight. Mike McCoy batting ninth, off to a good start with the bat.
Left-hander Dallas Braden coming off a season in which he had a career high in wins with 11. The only problem was he also had 14 losses and spent some time on the disabled list. A respectable earned run average at 3.5. Hurt by a lack of run support. 10th lowest run support in the American League. But a good pitcher.
Rajai Davis 2 for 5 in the game, and he started both big rallies for the ball club last night. Looks for the fastball down. Davis hit a leadoff double in the 6th inning that sparked a 4-run inning. That tied the game at 5 all in the 6th. Davis stands right up on the inside line of that batter's box, getting right on top of that plate. Ripped into left field, a leadoff base hit for Davis. Rajai Davis had a big night. There's the double down the left field line in the 6th inning. That sparked that 4-run comeback. And then on the bases, he created a distraction that caused Guzman off the boot. Then he tags at third on a little sac fly off the bat of Aaron Lynn and runs this ball down in the gap in deep right center.
Says he is excitement, and when he is on base, he creates a lot of excitement. This was the situation last night. A leadoff single in the 10th inning, and then Escobar ended the game with a home run to right.
Escobar's first homer of the season. Off to a great start, batting .375. He's 6 for 16 in the early going. Davis, you can see, doesn't have much of a lead, and that's because of the pitcher Dallas Braden. He breaks anyway. He gets hung up halfway. There's the return throw to first base, and Davis is caught stealing. He didn't get a very good jump, and you can see that Dallas Braden is tough to run on.
Just shuts that running game down because he is so quick to home. He lets go of the ball very quickly. And Davis was thinking about going first movement, but then realizes he doesn't have a very good jump, tries to get back, and just like that, there's one out.
Pulled off the bag at third. Andy LaRoche at third tonight. Strong throw past the runner. Escobar thought about going to second. Now he's got to get back as he made a move towards second base. Andy LaRoche's throw was in the dirt. Tough play at third base, and the scorer has ruled it an error. He's in foul ground when he makes the throw.
And a long throw across the diamond. That's what Bob Guerin says the first thing you notice about Andy LaRoche is that good strong arm. And he shows it off right here as he is in foul territory. That's a do-or-die play, I think, for a third baseman.
And now, correctly, the scorer has changed that to a base hit. So Escobar has a hit to start his night. Adam Lind picked up an RBI, as we mentioned, on a very unusual sacrifice fly to the third baseman. Dallas Braden has allowed 4 stolen bases for his career.
Yeah, that's not just 1 year.
His career. Tough to run on. Then to the gap in left center. That ball is bouncing and gets by Chris. Here comes Escobar around third. He's going to score. And the Blue Jays will take an early 1-0 lead. Adam Lind looks like a different hitter this year. Off to a great start.
Well, he certainly does. Covering pitches away from him. Last year it looked like he was trying to pull that ball. This year he's staying right on it and going through the baseball. That's one way to neutralize a pitcher with a good pickoff move. Hit extra base hits. Score that runner from first base. And as soon as that ball gets by Coco Chris in center field, no chance to get Escobar at the plate.
Cleanup batter, Aaron Hill with Lind at second. Off-speed pitch is down. Hill was 1 for 4 in the game last night, but he hit 2 bullets right at the third baseman, Kuzminoff, that were both caught. Off the end of the bat. Bobble at third. LaRoche hurries his throw just in time to get Hill. The Athletics a little bit on edge defensively. They've committed 9 errors already in this season.
Off the end of the bat, and again, here's that good arm. When he dropped it the second time, I didn't think he had a shot at getting Aaron Hill at first base, but he gets it over there and gets it over there quickly. Off the end of the bat, short hop right there. I thought he got it, but he quickly recovers and guns him at first base.
2 outs now as Ron Rivera will try to pick up Lind at second. Then picks up his 5th RBI of the season. Rivera looking for his first. Rivera has a good approach, and obviously you can see his experience. Early on, we have watched him try to get a gauge on the pitcher he's facing. Took him a while to get it going into the spring, but boy, he finished up swinging a hot bat at the end of March.
When he dialed in spring training, lots of line drives all over the field.
This ball is off the end of the bat, popped up to second. Mark Ellis is there. So the Athletics get out of the first, but Adam Lind comes through with an RBI double. The Blue Jays have staked Jesse Litch to a 1-0 lead.
Home Hardware or Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
1-0 Jays. Oakland a little shaky in the field. They have not committed an error, but they certainly kicked it around a little bit in the first. Josh Willingham will start things off against Jesse Litch. Willingham off to a good start, batting .333. 2 homers and 5 RBI for Willingham, who's in left field tonight. John Farrell talked about Litch earlier this afternoon, suggesting if he can get Litch to go out for the 6th inning, he'll be pleased with an outing. First time out of the chute.
It probably feels really weird for Jesse Litch to be out on a mound when you talk about 6 innings. The last time he was on the mound, he threw a cage simulated game down in Florida.
Bouncing ball, big hop for Escobar at short, but on the money. Jesse Litch, we mentioned this is his first start, and last year the season was cut short because of injuries. But boy, you'd love to see him recapture the form he had in 2008.
And that's all we heard in spring training from John Farrell, Bruce Walton, that Jesse Litch is throwing the ball the way he did back in 2008 when he won 13 games. Injuries in 2009 and 2010 really robbed him of his good fastball. And you're right, here's Jesse.
Neki Matsui fights it off. Matsui was not in the lineup last night. Kind of surprised me given the history he's had against the Blue Jays. He's a career .316 hitter against Toronto. Off to a bit of a slow start. On Sunday, he collected a single. That was his 25th 100 hit as a professional player, combining his numbers in Japan and here in the major leagues.
Good cutter right there. Yeah, you look at the numbers that Matsui has had against the Blue Jays in his career. 8 home runs, which is the 2nd highest in baseball against the Blue Jays. But he'll be in there the rest of the way.
Strike 3 call. Litch came inside with the cutter and then drops the cutter back on the outside quarter. Matsui is down on strikes.
He has that ability to move that cutter inside and outside. If you can backdoor it a la Mariano Rivera, lefties will give up on it. And you can see clearly from that overhead camera, he carved up the outside part of the plate.
Litch is retired 5 in a row. Kurt Suzuki, the catcher, with 2 outs. Last year, Litch came up and felt like his arm had recovered totally. Bruce Walton continued to tell him, Jesse, listen, let's keep it simple. Your arm's not strong yet. You don't have the arm speed necessary to really execute your pitches. This spring, Walton revisited that topic, and Litch agreed he wasn't close to being ready last summer.
To his credit, though, I believe it was 14 months after surgery, he made his way back out on a big league mound, which is impressive.
Made 9 starts with the Blue Jays a year ago, went 1-5 with a .579 ERA. A lot more life on his pitches this year.
Yeah, I didn't see this kind of arm strength at all last year in those starts that he had.
Just out of nowhere, a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs here in the second. Hard to get young players to understand that your body needs time to recuperate. And with pitchers, it's really interesting because you can generate velocity even before your arm is 100%. You just can't execute command, and you certainly can't really throw your best breaking ball because your arm speed isn't built up to where it needs to be.
And that's the last thing that pitchers talk about that comes after surgery like that, the command, the ability to extend.
Look out. That bat skipped over the top of the dugout into the seats. Looks like everybody's smiling. I don't think there was anybody seated in seat 1. So don't be alarmed. But I think everybody is safe and sound. That bat came flying out of Ellis's hand. Watch the pitcher. Look out. Tell you what, fans are close to the action here. It seems like everybody's okay. The ball and the strike, 2 outs here in the second inning. Blue Jays have taken a 1-0 lead. Adam Lynn with an RBI double to center field.
Litch hasn't pitched against the Oakland A's since 2008. So a lot of the Oakland A's are getting a chance to see him for the first time. He has had good numbers against them. 3 lifetime starts against Oakland. An ERA under 1. This is the kind of stuff you need against Oakland. You need to be able to come out, work quickly, and throw a lot of strikes.
Strike 3 call. Jesse Litch comes back, paints the outside corner, strikes out 2 in the inning. He gets around a 2-out walk by striking out Mark Ellis. Blue Jays lead it 1-0.
Reporting Max is out at about 90 miles an hour. He's got great deception. He usually is around 84 to 87 and will max out at 90. He's got that screwball-like changeup that he will use to the right-handed batters. And when you watch him on the mound, he's very confident. He's very aggressive, really attacking that strike zone.
Gets ahead of Edwin Encarnacion with the fastball. Encarnacion 1 for 4 and an RBI in last night's game. He has 3 ribbies for the season. Boy, Braden works quickly. That's a real challenging approach for hitters, in that you never really feel comfortable. Always feel like you're rushed at the plate. Broken bat. Big bounce for Pennington at short. 1 out. Travis Snider 0 for 4 last night, but he really exemplifies the heart and soul of this team.
That might not look like a lot right there, a little ground ball to get the runner over and get him in, but watch as he digs it out of the box. A lot of players will just be happy with the RBI, but Travis Snider grits his teeth, puts his head down, and tries to beat out that 3-hopper to the second baseman. I think that says a lot about this team.
Catchphrase for this team this year, heart and hustle. We've seen a lot of it early on. The heart was exemplified in last night's game, coming back from a 5-0 deficit.
And not taking anything for granted. That's one thing in this early part of the season that we have noticed, is this team doesn't take anything for granted. They're always trying to push the envelope and make things happen.
I think truly they believe they should win every night. That's a good attitude to have. Fouled into the seats. The hustle last night was exemplified by Rajai Davis, hustling to start the inning in the 6th with a leadoff double. running the bases very effectively and then scoring a run on a fly ball in foul territory about 150 feet from home plate. Right back to Braden. He's an exceptional fielder, and the underhand toss, an easy out.
When you let go of that baseball, if you're the pitcher, you've got to be in good position to be the next fielder. Braden does not have a big windup or a max effort type of delivery, but he gets himself in good position to make the play.
Dallas Braden, the author of A Perfect Game against Tampa Bay last Mother's Day, May 9th. The catcher, J.P. Arancibia. To the first pitch strike. Arancibia facing Braden for the first time. Well, he's got a totally different approach with his patience at the plate in the regular season compared to what we saw in spring training. Much quieter at the plate. Drill down the left field line. Line drive off the wall. Arancibia headed for second. Here's the throw to Mark Ellis. He puts the tag on the sliding Arancibia, and he is out at second base. They gambled on the arm of Josh Willingham, and he threw a strike to second to nail Arancibia. 1-0 Jays after 2. Out on the bases. Arancibia takes a gamble with 2 outs.
Not a bad idea to try and get yourself into scoring position with 2 outs. The Blue Jays have said we're going to be aggressive, and there's going to be times where we're going to be thrown out and maybe take us out of an inning. Arancibia trying to get extra bases, but Willingham, not a bad gamble. Make a guy like that try and throw you out, but he comes up short.
I would suggest J.P. Arancibia is probably in that red light category. He hit it hard, but John Farrell says, I want you guys to force the defense to make good plays. Number 8 hitter for the Athletics is Andy LaRoche. Got a start last night at shortstop. Went 2 for 3. Hit the ball hard. Made a couple of fine plays in the field. His first start at shortstop. Ball on the strike from Litch.
He looked good to me at shortstop. I guess if you can play on the left side, you should be able to play both positions. Comes from a baseball family, so he knows a little something about the game.
His father, Dave LaRoche, was actually J.P. Arancibia's pitching coach the last 2 years in Las Vegas. And the cutter. And he swings and misses. Jesse Litch looked sharp in the early going. Economical as well. There's 31 pitches.
That's one of the things that Bruce Walton told me today about Jesse Litch. He doesn't want him to show too much. He has the ability to get hitters out in the first 3 or 4 pitches of an at-bat. So far tonight, that's what we have seen from him.
Goes right back to the cutter and racks up the strikeout. 3 strikeouts in the last 4 plate appearances.
Sandwiched around a walk. Watch how Aaron Sebia sets up on the inner part of the plate, and he misses his spot. But with 2 strikes, that started over the plate, in the zone, and then out of the zone.
Cliff Pennington starts at shortstop tonight. He came on defensively in the game last night. Switch hitter batting left-handed against Jesse Litch. Broken bat, little flare in the center, and that's going to get down in front of Rajai Davis. First hit of the night for Oakland. Jose Bautista not with the ball club, and Brandon Morrow also down in Florida preparing for his first rehab start tomorrow.
Well, it's good to see that they got a bigger headshot of Brandon.
Yeah, last night they had a tiny headshot, and Jose Bautista had a much bigger headshot. But now they're both in attendance tonight. Ricky Romero making sure that everybody is on equal status. 1 out, back to the top of the order. Coco Crisp looks at a strike from Litch.
The Oakland A's don't run a lot. I wouldn't say that they're a burner team like the Tampa Bay Rays, but when they do steal, they have been very successful the last couple of years. Crisp has a great steal percentage, as does Cliff Pennington, the runner over at first base.
Line to the third baseman, Encarnacion timed his jump perfectly. Ball was hit off the end of the bat, wasn't really scorched, and Encarnacion made a nice play to retire Crisp.
Yeah, it looked like he hit him a changeup. I have seen a lot of corner infielders get messed up on those type of balls just like that, the ball doesn't get to you, you time your jump poorly, and you end up missing it. But Encarnacion is there for the task.
2 outs now. You see Litch pounding that fastball in there, gets ahead of Derek Barton. Barton flied to right his first time up. 0 for 5 now in the series for the Athletics first baseman.
Left side of the infield, thinking along the same way. Watch the shortstop, Escobar. It's like, okay, if you do it like this, here's how you jump up, and this is how you make the play.
Catcher Aaron Sebia jumped up too. Everybody on the field is all rooting for Encarnacion to make the catch. Got a lot of help. Outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Blue Jays lead at 1-0. They scored a first inning run that came on Adam Lynn's RBI double to center. Cliff Pennington with the first Athletics hit of the night.
Not a bad time to maybe start the runner with 2 strikes.
Well, Jesse Litch is thinking. You oftentimes see Aaron Sebia looking into the dugout. Molina will do the same, and they're looking in to find Don Wakamatsu, the bench coach. He will instruct Aaron Sebia as to the pitch outs, the throwovers, the slide steps for the defense of the running game.
Just like Dallas Braden is hard to run on, Jesse Litch is hard to run on too. Very quick to the plate. Varies his time to home, but when he picks that leg up and goes, it's pretty quick.
Pennington has expanded his lead. He's got his right foot on the edge of the artificial surface. There goes the runner. Pitch is taken. Throw to second. In time, and Aaron Sebia throws out Pennington to end the 3rd inning. JPNC being very patient with this throw. Pennington got a decent jump. No urgency whatsoever. Throws a strike to Escobar. And live chats with Shai Davidi and Mike Wilner. Viewers are encouraged to participate. Just go to jayslive.sportsnet.ca and join in the fun during the game. Lots of ways to check in on the Blue Jays, including the social media, and Shai Davidi will keep you up to date on all the inside action here.
Scouting report is out on Mike McCoy. They know he likes to push the bunt to the right side.
Bounce to shortstop. Pennington rights himself. High throw, but there to get McCoy. Pennington was at shortstop last May 9th, and with 2 outs, he got the ground ball hit to him off the bat of Gabe Kapler. And as he was peeling that ground ball, he was thinking, man, I better not mess this one up. A perfect game for Dallas Braden. Rajai Davis into center. Coco Crisp on the run and makes a head-high catch. 2 quick outs here in the third. 19th man in history throw perfect game as Dallas Braden shut down Tampa Bay. And here's the ground ball.
You wait, you wait, you wait. You take a look at where the runner is, and then you go crazy, folks. Dallas Braden picks up the 2nd perfect game in Oakland A history. And he is mobbed by his teammates after that one.
42 years and 1 day after the late Hall of Famer Catfish Hunter threw a perfect game for Oakland. Breaking ball. Escobar goes around.
That was a mystery last year. The Tampa Bay Rays, they had a very good hitting team. They got perfect game by him. Edwin Jackson no-hit him from Arizona. Brandon Morrow had the big 17 strikeout game.
Stay hot, Escobar. A little flare into right field. A 2-out base hit. He's perfect. 2 for 2 tonight.
Cut that ball in on the hands of Escobar, but he's so much stronger this year. You can see it in his body. That time he just muscles the ball in right field. And I think he is off to a good start. This was 2009 when he had a huge season for the Atlanta Braves. 14 home runs and 76 RBIs and a batting average just under 300.
26 doubles and 2 triples to go along with the 14 homers.
Started off spring training hot. Hit close to 400 in the spring.
Escobar now 8 for 18 in the early going this season, and there's nothing like a good start to build your confidence. Same for Adam Lynn. He had an RBI double his first time up. Lynn now hitting .389 with a homer and 5 RBI. One hopper right to the second baseman, Mark Ellis, and Lind is retired. Just 8 pitches for Dallas Braden. That's all he needs to get out of the third. We have played 3 innings.
Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Jesse Litch and the Blue Jays lead the Athletics 1-0 as they're set to hit here in the 4th inning. Derek Barton was at the plate in the 3rd inning when J.P. Arancibia gunned down Cliff Pennington, tried to steal second. I love Arancibia when he gives that target with one knee on the ground. It really gets him down in a good low target position.
Lower the better for the pitcher. They've talked about Jesse Litch having to be able to throw the ball in the lower part of the strike zone.
And with Arancibia sitting up so low, it really gives the umpire, Lance Barksdale, a real clear view of the strike zone. By staying low and not moving, the umpire has a clear shot right over your shoulder. Full count here to start the 4th inning. Litch has walked the batter and allowed just 1 hit. Off-speed pitch fouled at the plate.
Well, one of the things that J.P. Arancibia has done, he is much more relaxed behind the plate, and it shows in the way that he's moving around behind home plate, blocking balls in the dirt, and then coming out firing to get Pennington last inning. You can see it in his footwork and the way he moves to get balls in the dirt.
You know, I'm sure you got the same question I got all winter long. You think Arancibia can catch in the big leagues? And I didn't have enough information to go on. We didn't see him catch much last year. He got in 11 games when he was called up last season. But he's a confident young man, and he's got some very high-profile pitchers throughout the course of his career. Going back to the University of Tennessee, played on Team USA, and got David Price and Tommy Hunter, Colby Lewis, some high-profile pitchers.
And he's not afraid to work. Not afraid to listen to what they have to say. And that's one mystery that I saw from the Jays last year. They didn't have a catching instructor. With so many great young catchers in the system, you need somebody to teach them the finer points of catching.
that foul ball and give it to a young fan, and the fan says, I better return it. They might need this thing. And that's why Litch hesitated before he threw that final pitch to Derek Barton. Barton draws the leadoff walk. David DeJesus hit a tapper back to Litch to end the first. Boy, Aaron Sevia not wasting any time after the leadoff walk, goes right out to the mound after Litch falls behind DeJesus.
Part of the job of being a catcher is taking command back there. You can also be like a pitching coach. You might notice something in the stride or the grip or the front shoulder might be opening up just a little bit.
Now, you have the best perspective of anybody in the ballpark. Obviously, you can see the stride to home plate. You can see whether or not the shoulders are staying in line or if he's dropping his arm from the desired release point. That ball is a fair ball down the right field line. Barton makes the turn around second. He's headed for third. DeJesus cruises into second. And the A's are threatening here. Second and third, nobody out in the fourth.
Ball down and into a left-hander. That is their sweet spot. They love it down and in. And DeJesus, who has really worn out the Blue Jays in his career, goes down and hits this ball hard into the gap. Now the setup for the relay is perfect. Rivera just get that ball into that lead tandem of cutoff men and keep Barton from scoring from first.
Well, now the Blue Jays have their hands full. Second and third, nobody out with Josh Willingham at the plate. He has been a sole provider of power this year for Oakland. 2 home runs for the team. Willingham has them both.
Hard to imagine when they've got some pretty decent hitters in Barton and Kuzminoff and DeJesus, Matsui, Connor Jackson. This team only has 2 home runs.
Popped up back by the screen and over the back into the seats. Hideki Matsui stands on deck. The designated hitter Matsui was called out on strikes his first time up. This is a typical Dallas Braden game. Last year in 10 starts, Braden got 1 or 0 runs in 10 of his starts during the regular season. 4th lowest run support in the American League.
And if you want to jump that out, 2 runs or fewer in 17 of his 30 starts last year, Buck. So tough to pitch when you don't get any runs.
Ball and strike to Willingham. Trying to come inside, missed all the way across the outside corner. This is why they got Willingham to produce. 3 for 6 with a homer and 4 ribbies in these situations. Breaking ball, pitching backwards.
I think that's one of the things that Jesse Litch has got to do. He doesn't have that one pitch that he says, okay, I can throw this with 2 strikes and feel very confident that I'm going to be able to get a strikeout. So he has to pitch. He's got to get into the head of the hitters and find their weaknesses and then make pitches.
2-2. Popped him up on the infield. Lynn calling for it near the bag at first. What a good pitch by Jesse Litch.
Just watch the pitch sequences. Each one of the pitches sets up the next one. Cutter backs up a little bit on Willingham, looking out over the plate, and that time he might have jammed himself.
Willingham hit a breaking ball to the seats to start things off in the 10th. That gave the Athletics a lead in extra innings. Matsui was caught looking at an outside cut fastball, just caught the outside corner. Base hit down the right field line. That should score 2. Matsui around first, headed to second. Oakland has taken a 2-1 lead on the Matsui 2-run double down the right field line.
You mentioned it, how he just wears out the Blue Jays in his career. He's got the highest hitting streak now against the Blue Jays. Not wasting any time. He's always been a very good RBI man. In these situations, he shortens that swing and makes solid contact. This time down into the right field corner. A couple of RBIs. 12-game hitting streak now for Matsui against the Blue Jays.
Matsui at second for Kurt Suzuki. One of the best hitters in all of baseball in clutch situations. Now he has extended his hit streak to 12 straight.
And hitting about 500 now against the Jays during that hit streak.
Lynch comes back to find the outside corner. When you look at opponents' numbers offensively against the Blue Jays, top 3 generally Vladdy Guerrero, Miguel Cabrera, and Hideki Matsui in some fashion, 1, 2, and 3. Guerrero's hit over 500 against the Blue Jays in his career. And we all know what Miguel Cabrera does. Matsui's right there with him.
Put him on. Take the bat right out of their hands when you look at those numbers. And it's a lot of at-bats, too. It's not just, 8, 10, 12 at-bats.
Lined into center field. Davis on the run. Jumps, makes the over-the-shoulder catch. Matsui goes back, tags second, and advances over to third. That ball carried well off the bat of Kurt Suzuki, but Davis tracked it down in center.
Just for a second, it fooled him. Watch the movement that Rajai Davis has. That line drive right over your head, one of the toughest plays for an outfielder. That time he uses that good speed to run it down.
Two outs with Matsui at third for Mark Ellis. Ellis will strike out victim in the second. Swings and misses at that big sweeping breaking ball.
We were talking about Mark Ellis yesterday. If you make a mistake, he can hurt you with the long ball. He is the A's career leader for home runs as a second baseman for Oakland. 83 home runs he has hit.
Mike Gallego, the third base coach, played second base for a number of years for Oakland, 12 years as a player. Now he's the third base coach for Bob Guerin in his third season with Oakland. 0-2 to Ellis. Bounce back to Lynch. Ellis is retired to end the fourth, but Oakland takes the lead on Hideki Matsui's 2-run double down into the quarter. It is 2-1 Oakland. all season long, and you can catch them all across the dial on the radio. More popcorn, that. Aaron Hill grounded to third his first time up. Dallas Braden staked now to a 2-1 lead. Becky Matsui doing just exactly what he was hired to do, drive in runs.
In big situations. Dallas Braden is a very interesting story. 24th round draft pick back in 2004. Talk about perseverance. 727th player picked that day for Oakland, and he made his way to the big leagues. You don't have to be a number 1 or number 2 to get up here and succeed.
Stay tuned. Coming up, a connected update with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the brand new BlackBerry broadcast studio here at Rogers Center. Keep you up to date on everything that's going on around baseball. Texas Rangers continue to pound the baseball. Boy, they are on fire to start the season. Hill waited back on that off-speed pitch, but gets under it and pops it to the infield. Mark Ellis makes the catch.
Year after year, Dallas Braden has gotten better and better. Every year, his ERA has gone down. Last 2 seasons, ERA of 3.65, which is in top 10. Again, he just needs run support. But I think it says something about the player who was drafted so low like that, and you fight the way to the big leagues. You're not getting a free ride when you're the 727th player picked in the draft.
Yeah, you sign with a professional team, and they don't even know who you are when you get to your first team. Yeah, you just get over in the corner, and we'll take care of the top 3 picks over here on this side. We know who they are. We don't even know who you are.
Probably don't have any money invested in you, or a lot of money. So you've got to do something to open up their eyes, and he obviously has.
Braden grew up in Stockton, California, just about 45 miles east of Oakland. From there, he went to American River Junior College in Sacramento. A very competitive junior college league. Pitched very well there and went to Texas Tech after that. So it's been a long path to the big leagues for Dallas Braden, and he's getting better and better with each year he gets under his belt. Pitched well against the Blue Jays with an ERA under 4.
He's in a situation just like a lot of the young Blue Jay starters. They've got some good ones that they can build around each one of their starts. Gain momentum, challenge each other each time you go to the mound.
A 1-out walk issued to Juan Rivera.
Now, how much did your tickets cost to give to him?
Quite a bit. Yep, I had to make sure he got the jersey early in the afternoon so he could wear that to the ballpark. I don't know that people are going to remember that I wore that number in another month or two. We might see a young man come up from AAA that wore that number all spring long, Brett Lawrie. AAA will get underway tomorrow. The minor leagues will play their first game Thursday. Lawrie's ticketed to be the third baseman for the Las Vegas AAA ball club.
They're opening up on the road this year, aren't they?
Fresno in that San Joaquin Valley, not far from Stockton.
Great hitters league, Pacific Coast League. We might see some silly numbers put up by some of the Blue Jay youngsters.
Now that AAA team is loaded with young talent. Ball and a strike to Edwin Encarnacion. 1 out. Rivera at first. Off the plate inside. Interesting how Braden challenging Encarnacion inside, inner half. That's pretty close to his wheelhouse.
Yeah, you can't miss on the inner half with Encarnacion. He did it last night by hitting a double. There's another one.
took a little off. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dallas Braden making his first start of the season.
He'll turn that fastball over and try and get the ground ball here with 1 out.
And there it is. Pennington can't make a play. Rivera will stop at second. Boy, right on cue, Pat. You called the ground ball. Looked like it had a chance to be turned into a double play, but again, Oakland can't make the play in the field.
This is a good, on paper, Oakland team fielding wise. There's the ground ball. He gets to it. I think he jumps over that ball. Maybe trying to think about catching it and flipping it, but you look around this team, they've got some guys who can field the baseball, but they haven't shown it early in this season at all.
That has scored a base hit. Pennington will tell you that's the ball he's got to at least get 1 on. Travis Snider cuts on the first pitch.
You've got Mark Ellis at second base for Oakland, who's got a great glove. De Jesus in right field is working on an errorless streak that's way up there. There's De Jesus, 245 straight games without an error, and Coco Crisp is a good fielder. But they have had their troubles this year.
Well, they sure have, and you got to believe it's getting in their head. As we mentioned early on, they have committed 9 errors. Andy Lord starting at third base tonight, dropped the ball, but recovered in time to throw out Aaron Hill at first. That came in the first inning. Dallas Braden has been ahead all night long. He's thrown first pitch strikes to 13 of the 17 batters he's faced.
Got to take advantage of the errors. Blue Jays did it in last night's game to get back into the game.
Long drive to right field. They have taken advantage. Home run, Travis Snider. Home run. The Jays answer right back to take the lead.
You know, they came within a whisker of being out of this inning. The Oakland A's and the Blue Jays back out on the field if they could turn the double play. Well, it sets up this hanging breaking ball from Dallas Braden, who gave up 17 home runs last year, and this one was a no-doubter. Got to get a glove next time on it.
J.P. Arancibia gets underneath this. Crisp has plenty of room in center. Arancibia is retired. 2 down here in the 4th. It's interesting. I know it's only 5 games, but the balance in the Blue Jays lineup is impressive. Snider in the 7th spot, and they've got a nice mix back and forth, lefties and righties, and tonight Mike McCoy is the DH batting 9th.
They just have a couple of left-handers that they can move around, work around, excuse me, Lynn and Snider, so the right-handers are important.
And one thing you're really aware of if you're John Farrell is making sure you spread out Lynn and Snider, the 2 left-handed bats in the lineup. A ball and 2 strikes to Mike McCoy. Jose Bautista is away from the ball club, attending to personal matters. Blue Jays are hopeful he'll rejoin the team in Anaheim.
John Farrell was talking about that today, that he was so proud of his team winning without Jose in the lineup. Shows you the type of players that they've had, the character that these guys are. You take your big hitter out of your lineup, your leader, your home run RBI leader, and you still win a big ball game yesterday.
2-2 to McCoy. Inside corner, strike 3. Dallas Braden comes back and gets the number 9 hitter. Travis Snider hits a 3-run home run. Now it's time for a Connected Update with Jamie and Greg, live from the brand new BlackBerry Broadcast Studio. The Jays on the season, and this is not unusual. This power team has gotten better and better each year.
Look at from 2008 how the home runs have jumped, and the only explanation I can have is maybe the influence of Cito Gaston and Dwayne Murphy, the hitting coaches who were here and the manager who were here when they took over back in 2008.
Andy LaRoche hits it to the shortstop. Escobar one quick out on one pitch here in the 5th. I agree with you 100%, and obviously you got to have the players that are capable of hitting home runs.
Certainly.
But it's also about the mindset, the confidence. Here's a young man, Travis Snider, that's battled injuries and demotions the last couple of years, but now he's poised and confident that under the guidance of his hitting coach Dwayne Murphy, he's ready to take over as an everyday player and establish himself.
How about Rajay Davis? He was telling us in spring training his career high has been 5 home runs in a season. And he said what Dwayne Murphy has done with him about eliminating pitches, sitting on certain pitches. He had 4 home runs in spring training directly from the teachings of Dwayne Murphy.
Cliff Pennington, the shortstop, singled in the 3rd. He was caught stealing to end that 3rd inning. Well, talk from a hitter's perspective how eliminating pitches can be an advantage for you at the plate.
You know, when you step into that batter's box and you're thinking, okay, I've got to try and hit 3 or 4 different pitches and 3 or 4 different types of at-bats, you become very confused, and the next thing you know, the ball's on top of it. If you go up there and say, okay, I'm going to sit on a breaking ball until I get 2 strikes, you recognize the fastball a little bit quicker. You recognize the changeup just a little bit quicker, and then you see your pitch. Good pitch there. It's almost like knowing what pitch is coming because you're looking for it.
Right there, Jesse Litch just went right after Cliff Pennington, threw a fastball that caught the outer half of the plate.
That one looked like it was right down Broadway, split the middle of the plate. I don't know if he was looking for a certain pitch or what, but that one was right there.
4th strikeout for Jesse Litch. Back to the top of the order, Coco Crisp. Grounded out and lined out.
You know, another thing that Cito Gaston would teach about hitting home runs, and Dwayne Murphy was this type of hitter, is that hanging breaking ball. Instead of cutting your swing off, swinging and getting on top of it, he said keep your bat up there. Swing and finish high so you get that ball up in the air.
Isn't that interesting? Because a lot of hitting coaches teach stay on top of the baseball. Then Cito Gaston and Dwayne Murphy, so when it's up there, go up there and hit it up there. Chances are it'll end up out of the ballpark. There's a strike. The ball in 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the 5th.
The player who has benefited the most, I think, from that philosophy of hitting a hanging breaking ball has been Adam Lind. When he came up, he would roll over on pitches like that, cut his swing off. Now he is going through it and hitting the ball up in the air.
Just off the plate. Half the Blue Jays infield was headed for the dugout. High fly ball to the alley in right center. Long run for Revere. There's Rajai Davis off the end of his glove. Coco Crisp fastly around second. He's headed for third. Crisp hits his second triple of the season. Just off the glove of Rajai Davis on the warning track in deep right center.
They were actually shading Coco Crisp to left center field, and I didn't think Rajai Davis had any chance at getting this ball. You can see where he started on that replay. Long way to go, and he reaches out and almost comes up with it. That would have been one heck of a catch if he was able to come up with it, but it's just off the end of his glove.
If that hits in the webbing of his glove instead of the last finger of his glove, he catches that ball. What an effort. Crisp with his second triple of the season stands at third with 2 outs. Line drive into center. Davis slipped, didn't get a great jump on it, and Barton delivers Coco Crisp. You just have to wonder whether or not Rajai Davis caught his breath after that long run to the warning track.
He was again playing in left center field and went all the way on a dead run to right center field. Got back into position, first pitch, lined it away from him. This time he is shading him in right field, and it goes into left field.
He stumbled a couple of different times as he was going after this ball. And you just wonder how much that sprained ankle may have affected him right there. He is playing every day on an artificial surface for the first time in his career. Checking his spikes now. He slipped when he broke initially for that line drive.
You know, and it looked like when he landed on his right foot, the one that he sprained or twisted the other day, you got a reaction from him.
It's a one-run ball game at 4-3. The A's have scored a run with 2 outs here in the 5th. David DeJesus hit a double down into the right field corner. His last time up, he eventually came around to score on Matsui's 2-run double. Bounced off the glove of Lind. Hill's there in time, and they get him. DeJesus thought he beat it out. What a good play by Aaron Hill to stay with it. He gets the deflection off the glove of Adam Lind, and look at Jesse Lynch right on time, stays with the play, and they get out of the inning. 4-3 Jays lead. in that game, Baltimore. How about the Orioles? Boy, they have had some tough luck with injuries. Jeremy Guthrie was hospitalized with pneumonia. Ferguson taking his spot in the rotation. Justin Verlander trying to cool off the red-hot Orioles. Rajai Davis batting for a third time here tonight. Off-speed pitch, well out in front. Davis still trying to catch his breath. He had a lot of running to do last half inning.
Getting his sprints in for that inning. Now he'll probably get an infield hit right here. Have to bust it down the line. Tell you what, just go ahead and hit a home run so you can jog around the bases. Make it easy on yourself.
Yeah, we've been talking about that renewed approach that Davis has at the plate. Tough to do with 2 strikes. He's in a hole, 0-2. Fights this one off, pops it up, foul territory. First baseman Barton is there. Davis is retired.
Two strikes, you're just trying to protect the plate. Dallas Braden can do just about anything. He can go in, he can go out, he can go soft, he can go hard. That time he tried to bust a fastball in, and Rajai is a little bit tardy.
Asking Murphy if that first pitch was high, just to get some confirmation on what he thought he saw at the plate. One out for Junel Escobar. The looper into right field. De Jesus on the run, gets lost in the lights, goes all the way to the wall. Escobar around first, he's headed for second. He makes the turn on his way to third. Here's the relay to third. Not in time. Not sure if Escobar got hit in the head with the tag or what happened there at third base. But he asked for time, and now the training staff comes out to attend to him.
Shaken up. That was an aggressive headfirst slide into third base by Escobar. And it looks like they're holding his neck. I don't know if you're right, the tag or the ball or something. Maybe he slid into LaRoche, the third baseman, and there was a collision there. Any of these knee to the head things, not good.
Hap Hudson, the assistant trainer in his first year here with the Blue Jays, attending to Escobar. Let's take a look. Watch the reaction of De Jesus. He loses this ball in the lights.
Oh, he's such a good fielder. We talked about his airless streak. Good job by Coco Crisp to run it down and back up the play. He makes that play all the time, does De Jesus, but boy, he's hot. Escobar has been drilling balls to right field, and when he sees that it gets by him, he's thinking about 3 right here.
Came out of the box anticipating that ball being caught, and it may have cost him that hard slide into third.
Watch his head and where it hits. Right on the right knee of Andy LaRoche.
It's not that dissimilar to what we saw with Justin Morneau here last July when he slid into second and collided with John McDonald.
You know, that's why I hate the headfirst slide.
Boy, me too. Makes no sense whatsoever. Plus, you make it easy on the defender. There's no spikes coming at him. He knows he can put a knee down there, and you're not going to spike him. And then pops this up. Infield was drawn in. Pennington now back at the edge of the infield. That's a big out. Here Adam Lynn's going to try to pick up, Hill is going to try to pick up Lynn. Let's take a look at the Morneau collision last July.
Doesn't look like much as he comes into Johnny Mack. Actually, Johnny Mack is in the air, and there's a little give to his leg, but Justin was out. That was back in July. He was out the rest of the year.
And hopefully Escobar will not have the same effects. Appears to be okay down at third. Aaron Hill, the cleanup batter, trying to pick up Adam Lynn. Boy, that's a big run. Take advantage of that one-out triple and cash it in with 2 outs. out of play. Boy, the defense really reflects how Braden pitches. Hill's a very good pull hitter, and the shortstop Pennington is really playing to the pull side of the infield.
A lot of times you'll see fielders cheat to the middle of the diamond.
This ball's popped up over toward the A's dugout. Barton's got room, and Braden pitches around that one-out triple. Good job by Braden. Gets the middle of the order to pop up, but the Blue Jays still have a one-run lead over Oakland. Are the Harlem Globetrotters. Flight Time Lang and Buckets Blakes. They'll be playing here Friday and Saturday at Rogers Center. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. Nothing like the Harlem Globetrotters and Sweet Georgia Brown. Who do you think they're playing?
Generals?
The Washington Generals, maybe, huh? And Escobar explaining to Jose Molina how he got kneed in the forehead sliding into third base. Looks like he's concerned a little bit about maybe a headache, the vision. Boy, that ball ate up Josh Willingham right there.
Wow.
That's not a good sign.
No, it certainly isn't. You know, when we saw the play happen, you know, it doesn't look like much, but you run into a guy's knee like that, even with a helmet on. Yeah.
Then, too, you're concerned about the possibility of some form of whiplash. You go in there head first, and you can say he's not sure just exactly how he feels. Now trying to loosen up that neck a bit. Strike three call. This comes right back, and this time finds the inside corner to strike out Josh Willingham.
Jesse Litch has 5 strikeouts now tonight, 4 of them taken. Pitches down in the strike zone, fooling the Oakland A batters.
Well, and I'm going to give some props to J.P. Arancibia because he has really kept Oakland off stride. And the 4 called strikeouts would indicate that he's playing a pretty good job of messing with their heads. Matsui takes a strike. Hideki Matsui 1 for 2. Jesse Litch is sharp.
I love that pitch against lefties from him. That little two-seamer that starts at their hip. Lefties give up on it. It comes across the plate.
Strike three call. Second time tonight Matsui's been called out on a pitch away from him. That cutter does the trick. Strikeout number 6 for Litch.
You freeze him with the two-seamer the pitch before. And then you throw that cutter on the outside part of the plate. As you see George Poulos talking to John Farrell. He's looking out at Escobar right now.
Yeah, and you can bet George Poulos has been watching Escobar in the field. He's seeing the same things that we're seeing. And he's just down now and brought it to the manager's attention. Poulos concerned about what he sees on the field. All of the players, and including the manager and coaches, go through what they call baseline testing as part of their pre-spring training physical to develop some baselines for the possibility of concussion-like syndromes or post-concussion syndromes. John Farrell went through the testing in the spring, and hopefully when Escobar comes in off the field, they'll check him and make sure he's okay. But that's a real advancement in player safety. Of course, we know about Morneau. We've talked about him. Jason Bay, also Canadian from Trail, BC, went through the same thing last year with the Mets, and now Farrell looks like he's contemplating his options. Suzuki has to bail out.
I think he was guessing that that ball was going to be away from him and almost walked right into a high fastball.
Well, again, Litch and Aaron Seavey doing a heck of a job of mixing their pitches.
Watch him just lean out over the plate, and they got to brush him back.
Two and two down. Cut on and miss. Jesse Litch strikes out the side here in the sixth. Jesse Litch is dealing. He has a one-run lead, 7 strikeouts. When we come back, we'll update you on Escobar. The shortstop, George Poulos, the head trainer, they're going to head up to the locker room. I don't think Escobar is out of the game. I think Poulos just wants to take a closer look at Junel after he had that head-first collision with the third baseman, Andy LaRoche.
Aggressive slide in the third. Watch his head hammer the right knee of Andy LaRoche. He looks okay here, but once time is called, he went down and tried to gather himself. Do you know if they can do some of those baseline testings now during the game?
There are some indicators that you can check and make sure that there are no post-concussion syndromes right off the bat. They're going to make sure he is okay before they allow him to continue, I'm sure. Juan Rivera starts things off here in the sixth and drives it to center field. Coco Chris turns his back to the infield, but he's got room just in front of the wall in center. Junel Escobar has 3 hits. He's scored a run tonight. He's now 9 for 19. You see, he wants things to slow down. Don't have a quick inning here before they get the resolution to Escobar's health.
the baseball versions of the four corners right here.
Delay, step out of the box. Broken bat liner to left. Josh Willingham stays with it and makes a diving catch.
And this is why Travis Snider's got to take his time, maybe get into the batter's box and call time, step out a little bit, give them a chance to take a look at Escobar in the clubhouse. Shows you how strong Escobar is. He breaks his bat and flies out to left field. Excuse me, Encarnacion.
Willingham does a good job of staying with that ball and catches it just before it hits the turf. 2 outs. Travis Snider, a 3-run homer his last time up. Braden paints the outside corner. Off-speed pitch. Junel Escobar not really sure if he's going to come back to play the top half of the 7th. John McDonald's got a glove on. He's going upstairs, maybe to the indoor batting cage. 0-2 to Snider. He stays alive. Snider with 6 RBI in the early going. A 3-run shot off Braden. Braden is ahead 0-2 with 2 outs. There's something that you wouldn't have seen 7-8 years ago. Lefty throwing a left-hander changeups.
Blue Jays have done a good job of that. Not afraid to do it. Challenge him with changeup. That time it was down and away.
Gets up and fouls it off. You can see Braden was upset with his location. He wanted that ball down and away in the same area he threw the previous changeup. John McDonald walking in the dugout. I don't know if he had his glove on or not. 1-2 to Snider. Outside corner, strike 3. Dallas Braden has a 1-2-3 6th inning. The Blue Jays lead it after 6, 4-3. Slide into third base and hit the knee of Andy LaRoche at third base. We're not sure his status. Obviously, they're concerned about his health, and he has been removed from this ball game. It's unfortunate. Escobar is on fire. He has 3 more hits tonight. His second triple of the season is what led to his leaving this ball game.
And he's also playing great defense. He's becoming a leader in the middle of that diamond. They're not going to lose anything defensively, but offensively, the way he's been swinging the bat has meant a lot. As a utility player, you have to be ready at any time.
Well, nobody's ready more than John McDonald, and he has terrific in his preparation day in and day out, anticipating situations just like this. And you can bet he has watched every at bat tonight to get a feel for what the Oakland hitters are doing against Jesse Litch. Looking in for some defensive alignment now, getting some help from the bench. Mark Ellis lays off that outside pitch. It's 3-0. One-run ball game here, top of the 7th inning. Blue Jays took a 1-0 lead in the first on Adam Lynn's 5th RBI of the season. Oakland took the lead in the 4th, a 2-run double by Hideki Matsui, and that was erased immediately in the bottom of the 4th. Travis Snider hit a 3-run home run. On the corner. Snider's first home run of the season. Lifted to shallow right, hill back pedals, and he calls it, makes the catch. Jesse Litch has done more than the Blue Jays could have hoped for tonight. His first start of the season, he's pitched his team into the 7th.
The last time he was on the mound was in the batting cages down in Florida. When he went out there, his start got postponed because of all the thunderstorms and rain down in Florida. So he had to throw a simulated game in the batting cages. He is now into the 7th inning, which really tells you something. And he seems to be getting stronger and stronger. Last inning, 1, 2, 3, struck out the side. He fell behind right there to Ellis, but made 2 really good pitches. It's always important to get that first batter late in a ball game.
Good life on that fastball. Evens the count at a ball and a strike to LaRoche. Mark Sepchinski appears to be ready and standing by in the bullpen. There's a solid single into center off the bat of Andy LaRoche. That last pitch was number 100 for Jesse Litch. And here comes the skipper right on cue, and there's the call to the bullpen. But what a first start of the season for Jesse Litch. Pitches into the 7th inning, goes 6 1/3, and he will leave this ball game with a 1-run lead.
They were looking for about 90 pitches. They got him into the 7th inning. He is in line for his first win.
Jesse Litch gets a fine round of applause in response to his first start of the season. Blue Jays lead it. When we come back, it'll be Mark Sepchinski. There's 3 great ways to ensure you're always in tune with the Blue Jays. BlueJays.com, Facebook.com/Blue Jays, and Twitter.com/Blue Jays. Social media. You can stay up to date on everything about the Blue Jays. New pitcher for the Blue Jays will be Mark Sepchinski, the left-hander. Zebchinski did not pitch in last night's game. Blue Jays used 5 relievers in that game. Zebchinski hasn't pitched since Sunday, so he's got lots in his tank. Off to a good start early on in this season, his first 2 appearances.
A couple of starts in spring training. Finished last year very hot, 3-0 with an ERA under 2. They have pulled Cliff Pennington, have the Oakland A's, and sent up a pinch hitter.
Jesse Litch, 6 innings plus an out, 6 hits. He's responsible for the base runner at first. Kevin Kuzminov, who started at third base in last night's game, comes off the bench. Cut on and missed, 0-2.
You know, the thing that Zebchinski has, and we were talking about this at the beginning of the show about putting a bullpen together. You need some power arms and you need some long arms. You also need guys who can come in and get the ground ball. You've got good late life. Sean Camp comes to mind. Zebchinski can do the same thing to right-handers. If he throws that fastball away and gets that good sink, he can get that ball on the ground.
0-2. Line down the right side, foul. One thing about this bullpen is they are really diverse in what they feature, but they're off to a great start.
That 117 earned run average is number 1 in the American League. Ks per 9 innings, 7. Their strikeout to walk ratio is the best in the American League at 3-1. Bonus batting average of 184.
So many different looks. Way outside. Casey Jansen, he too did not pitch in last night's game. He is fresh. David Percy sitting down, had a good inning of work last night. Pat Henkin in his first year as the bullpen coach. Well, you talk about a resource. Cy Young Award winner sitting in your bullpen.
Knows a thing or two about pitching. What it takes.
And he started in the bullpen too. He started his career as a reliever with this Blue Jays ball club, so he knows what it takes to get ready. He and Bruce Walton really work well together. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kuzminov fights it off. Four 4-3 ball game as the Athletics bat here in the 7th. Blue Jays have turned 7 double plays this year. John McDonald in it short, taking over for Junel Escobar. Way outside, Kuzminov lays on. McDonald well prepared for roles like this, coming in middle of the game. Takes his ground balls in pregame practice all around the diamond. 3-2 pitch, 1 out. Not running at first, grounded to second. Hill quickly to second for the force out. Back to first. Not in time. What a pivot around second by John McDonald. Hill had a long throw from second, and McDonald didn't waste any time making the pivot, but Kuzminov outran it.
It's like throwing the ball against the wall and watching it ricochet off of it. That's how quick the transfer is around second base with John McDonald. 3-hopper to the second baseman. He gets rid of it quickly, and Adam Lynn thinks he has him at first base. But again, watch the pivot. Quickly, and then you got to get yourself in the air to avoid that runner coming in on you. And that's why you practice at game speed.
And McDonald jumped right over the sliding Adam LaRoche. Good feed from Hill, but just not enough time to turn 2. Back to the top of the order. Coco Crisp hit a triple his last time up. Ball gets away from Aaron Seeby and goes back to the wall. That moves the tying run into scoring position.
Here's a play again at first base. You can tell from yourself that he just gets there ahead of the throw.
Kuzminov did a good job of getting that front edge of the first base bag and that was the difference of him being safe at first. 2 outs. That was ruled a wild pitch, ball that got away from Aaron Sebia that allowed Kuzminov to get to second base. Ball in the strike. Just missed the outside corner.
Good time now to maybe try that backdoor breaking ball to the right-handers. After turning over that fastball, see if Crisp will give up on it. Get yourself a strikeout.
Bounce toward third. Encarnacion in time to get Crisp at first, and the Blue Jays get out of it. Kevin Kuzminov was in scoring position as Encarnacion made a strong throw. Middle of the 7th, Blue Jays holding on to a 1-run lead. Here tonight, first time out of the gate, 2011. He goes 6 plus 1 out and holds the Athletics to just 6 hits.
How about the 7 strikeouts for Jesse Lynch in his 6 of the 3rd inning? That's one off his career high of 8.
Kevin Kuzminov, who was the pinch hitter for the shortstop Cliff Pennington, takes over defensively. Now Andy LaRoche moves from 3rd to short. He started at shortstop in last night's game. 4-3 ball game as the Jays bat in the bottom of the 7th. J.P. Arencibia 1 for 2 tonight. Back foul, out of play. Mark Szepczynski came on and did a good job to get out of the 7th inning. Got a ground ball that almost ended it on double play, but then got Coco Crisp to ground to 3rd. Tap to short. LaRoche. 1 out. Boy, the bullpen continues to be very effective in the early going for the Blue Jays. And tell you what, any manager you tell you, if you get your starter to pitch in the 7th, chances are that bullpen is going to stay effective.
Well, you only have to use 1, maybe 2 guys then to finish it out. I'm sure John Farrell's going to stay with Mark Zepchinski with some lefties coming up there in the 8th inning. He has not left the bench, and we don't see anybody really throwing to start next inning.
Ball is popped up. Mike McCoy into shallow center. Crisp calling for it. 2 quick outs. Well, we talk about the bullpen, and I think one thing that plays into the strength of this bullpen is the diversity. And Mark Zepchinski was stretched out in the spring, battling for a spot in the rotation, so the length of outing isn't a concern for him. Last year, the bullpen was built with an awful lot of one-inning guys. Now you've got Carlos Villanueva down there, can go multiple innings. Sean Kemp can go multiple innings, as can Mark Zepchinski.
A little bit more specialized last year, the bullpen. Kevin Gregg ended up being the closer. Scott Downs was the 8th inning guy. Not really a lefty specialist.
Braden still pounding that strike zone, jumps ahead of Rajay Davis. Davis 1 for 3 tonight. Just 84 pitches to this point in the ball game for Dallas Braden. Starting pitching has not been a concern in Oakland for the last couple of years.
They're all about the same, too. You know, they'll give you deep into the ball game. They don't really strike you out. McCarthy, I thought, was very good last night, throwing 8 innings, and now Braden tonight. We're going to see Cahill tomorrow.
And that's why they made the move to put Braden in the middle of this 3-game series to separate McCarthy and Cahill. Kind of similar in their styles, especially now that McCarthy has made the transformation, throwing more sinking fastballs. But boy, I agree with you. He was really good last night. Off-speed pitch. Davis goes down. Dallas Braden is in a groove here, but we have played 7 complete, and the Blue Jays hold on to a 1-run lead. One selling passenger car brand in Canada. Here at Rogers Center, 8th inning. Derek Barton, the left-hander, will start things off against Mark Zepchinski. One for 2 officially for Barton. Broken bat pop-up and into foul territory near the coach's box. 1 quick out. Day game tomorrow. Ricky Romero will throw the rubber, making his 2nd start of the season. The Jays will be on Sportsnet. They'll take on Oakland. Action starts tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. He'll be matched up against Trevor Cahill. Cahill went 18-8 last year. Cahill just 23 years old. Frank Francisco and Octavio Dotel have joined the missing ranks. And presence is acknowledged. They're down in Florida. Francisco will pitch tomorrow. Dotel was scheduled to pitch today, and we did not get an update prior to the game. But they're rehabbing, hopeful of joining the team, and it's expected that Dotel will be the first to return. They expect him to join the ball club on the road in the upcoming road trip. Blue Jays will head to Anaheim after the game tomorrow afternoon to open up the Angels' home schedule. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday afternoon in Anaheim.
You know, and if all goes well, Brandon Morrow will probably join the team at some point on the road.
They're hopeful of Morrow making 55 pitches tomorrow when he starts his rehab in Dunedin. Frank Francisco also scheduled to pitch in that game. A ball and 2 strikes. Cut on and missed. De Jesus goes down swinging. 2 quick outs here in the 8th.
David De Jesus against right-handers hits .340, almost 100 points lower against left-handers last year at .258, and you can see Zebchinski uses the slider to strike him out.
At the end of spring training, Mark Zebchinski was moved to the bullpen, and John Farrell characterized Zebchinski as a weapon. That breaking ball so wicked to left-handed batters. Good example of it on that last pitch to De Jesus.
Well, Pat Henkin has made it easy for Mark Zebchinski. He says you don't have to face 20 batters anymore. You get 3, 4, maybe 5 batters when you come in. So give it your all. Give me everything you got.
Willingham pops it out of play. 2 balls and a strike. Here's where Zebchinski has to recognize where he is in the batting order. Willingham is the guy that you think about with the home run. He's got Matsui on deck with 2 outs. Good pitch down and away.
Yeah, and keep that sinking fastball with that great late life away from him. Keep it away from him so he doesn't extend through and try and pull a home run.
Two and two. 2 outs in the 8th. Off the plate inside. Again, Willingham, 2 home runs in the season. Hit a homer in the 10th off Jason Frazier in last night's game. His first home run came against Felix Hernandez in the A's opener. What a pitch. Threw him a breaking ball, full count, struck him out. Mark Zebchinski pitching with a lot of confidence. John McDonald will lead off the 8th. 1-run lead, 4-3. Rogers. Hello, speed boost. Goodbye waiting. Another first only from Rogers.
Blue Jays are trying to make this hit by Travis Snider stand up. A 3-run home run off of Dallas Braden. And you know what was special about that? It came off a left-handed pitcher. That's always a good sign from a young hitter.
Stayed on it, drove it right out of the ballpark. Took advantage of a walk and an infield single. That set up Travis Snider's first home run. That's the difference in the game. John McDonald batting for the first time tonight. Cuts on the first pitch and singles it back up the middle. Gloved by Ellis behind second, not in time. 4 hits in the 2 spot in the batting order tonight. John McDonald delivers.
And I think every one of them came on the first pitch that they have seen tonight. Very aggressively, not wasting any time. Braden, a very good fielder, I think was fooled by that ball. Off the end of the bat by McDonald. Placed perfectly. Right under his glove, and he's thinking infield single.
First hit of the season for John McDonald. Ron Romanek, the pitching coach, quickly out of the dugout. Romanek in his first year as the pitching coach. Kurt Young was the pitching coach who left Oakland, went to Boston to take over for one John Farrell.
Isn't that funny how that works?
John Roush, the closer, begins to loosen up. Mark Sebczynski, an inning and 2/3 of hitless relief. He struck out 2. Down the right, the field line. That's a fair ball, just inside the line. McDonald headed around third. He's going to get stopped. That ball was interfered with and out of play. A ground rule double for Lind, his second double of the night.
The first one went to left center field. And now here in the bottom of the 8th inning, stays back and whacks it down the right field line. That's why it's tough to make solid pitches to Lind. He can hit the ball all over the ballpark.
And Bob Guerin comes to the mound, a very deliberate walk, as he has now runners at second and third. Aaron Hill, the right-hander, he'll take the ball from Dallas Braden. Braden pitches his team into the 8th inning, but he trails by a run. Brad Ziegler will come on with 2 on and nobody out. Glenn picks up his second double of the night.
And against the left-hander, stays right in on that hanging breaking ball, and one hops it into the stands in right field. Interfered with. That is always a good sign also. Adam Lind when he is pounding lefties.
John McDonald's at third, Lind's at second. The A's infield is drawn in with Aaron Hill at the plate. Big sweeping breaking ball from Ziegler.
At one time, he came up and was the closer for the Oakland A's. Brad Ziegler, in his 4th season now with Oakland. He had 11 saves back in 2008, but now has pitched in situations now before the 9th inning as a setup man. Gets a lot of ground ball outs. You can see how he comes from down under. Sweeps that breaking ball to right-handers and sinks it in on their hands.
As a right-handed hitter, what's your approach against a guy that throws from the side?
First of all, you have to eliminate the pitch. It's tough to look for that breaking ball and hit the fastball that's going to come in.
Pulled through the left side, in there to left field. McDonald will jog home as Hill picks up the RBI. Aaron Hill, his 5th driven in of the season.
And then the next thing you have to do is you got to make them get that ball up. When they come from down under like that, he's trying to get you to swing at pitches out of the strike zone. Aaron Hill very confident, waiting for something that he can handle, and he hits it in the left field. Makes him get the ball up, and with the infield in, there's nothing finer. Balls seem to find holes when the infield are in.
Juan Rivera, still nobody out. 1st and 3rd. Lynn at 3rd, Hill at 1st. Hill broke towards 2nd, trying to create some movement on the Athletics infield. Blue Jays have all kinds of different breaks at first base in situations like this. If you can catch the eye of a middle infielder breaking off the bag, you might take him out of his defensive position.
We were talking before the game about a fake break at first base.
Jonel Escobar was given the fake break in the 6th inning in last night's game. Had a huge jump and took it on through. That's when Lynn popped up to 3rd base. Escobar had to retreat, tagged up, and advanced on the sacrifice fly. Swooping breaking ball, 0-2.
When you break like that at first base, as a hitter, all you have to do is look to see who's covering. And then if that happens again, you know where you're going to try and serve the ball. That last time Hill broke to 2nd base, Mark Ellis, the 2nd baseman, covered, and there was a huge hole on the right side.
0-2, way outside. So you can pick that up. Even though you're focused on the pitcher, you can see the middle infielders breaking to the bag.
And all you have to think about then is just hit a ground ball to the right side, because Barton has to hold the runner on, and if Ellis is covering on a steal attempt, ground ball to right field, RBI single.
You got a 90-foot hole on the right side of the infield. Cut on and miss, big sweeping breaking ball, and Rivera strikes out, first out of the inning.
That's what Ziegler tries to get you to do. Fish for that sweeping breaking ball. If you can eliminate that pitch, and he hasn't shown us so far since he has come in that he can throw for a strike, eliminate it and sit on that fastball until you get 2 strikes.
This is a big run down at 3rd base with 1 out. Edwin Encarnacion as an infield single. Fouls it off the end of the bat. Boy, it's tough. You get long in your swing on a guy like Ziegler, and you'll be out in front of everything.
Just 74 miles an hour on that last pitch, so he's not going to throw it by you. Wait as long as you can.
Lind at 3rd, Hill at 1st. Oakland still suspect that the Blue Jays might try to steal the run here in the 8th. Ziegler has the ability to get the ground ball that might get Oakland out of the inning. John Farrell has been aggressive all spring long with the offense. Encarnacion, big 2-hopper to short. LaRoche to 2nd for 1, back to 1st. Ziegler gets the ground ball Oakland was looking for. But the Blue Jays had a run on the RBI single of Aaron Hill. John Farrell and the Blue Jays have a 2-run lead. They will go to the 9th. John Roush is standing by in the bullpen. Hideki Matsui is the first batter scheduled to hit here in the ninth, the left-hander Matsui. Now that extra run in the eighth inning changed the complexion of this at bat. Matsui hitting with a one-run lead probably doesn't face Zebchinski.
And then they play right into the hands of John Farrell, who had the right-hander up.
Connor Jackson is on the bench. They've already used Kevin Kuzminoff, who came on early. Big numbers against the Blue Jays, including a two-run double here tonight. Mark Zebchinski finished the eighth inning striking out the final two batters. A 1-2-3-8. He's retired 5 in a row. 0-2. Cut on and missed. It's away from Aaron Sebia. Matsui is down on strikes 3 in a row, struck out by Mark Zebchinski. What a job. This bullpen continues to be lights out for John Farrell.
Hard slider against a good hitter. Totally fooled is Matsui. Good job by Aaron Sebia to slide to his left, block it. So Zebchinski comes in to start the ninth inning, left on left. That's the matchup John Farrell wanted, and now he's going to go to his big closer.
The bullpen had 9 strikeouts last night. Zebchinski strikes out 3. Now it's up to big John Roush to close it out. Up a 1-out double, but then got out of the inning with nothing more. He is on here with a 2-run lead in relief of Mark Zebchinski, who was outstanding. 2 good innings of relief.
Boy, he certainly was. He came in firing strikes. When he came in the 7th inning, they got 2 innings out of him, and this is the kind of things that he can do for you. Breaking ball to the left-hander, and no chance. Backdoored against the right-hander. Now watch Matsui. You talked about the great numbers that he has had, and Zebchinski was tough on him.
Mark Zebchinski pitching with an awful lot of confidence. What a line that is. 2 innings, just 3 strikeouts on 27 pitches. The pitch count is notable in that should the Blue Jays need an out from a left-handed pitcher, Zebchinski would be available to give them maybe a Matsui at bat tomorrow.
Getting 27 pitches and 2 innings out of the lefty.
The process will be they'll check with him in the morning, see how he feels, and say, can you give us an out? That's all you need. John Roush, a ball on the strike. Kurt Suzuki. 1-2. Lifted into shallow right field. Rivera's there. Oakland down to their final out.
Picking up that run in the bottom of the 8th inning makes life a lot easier in that dugout for the manager. Not worried about that leadoff batter. Roush now 1 out away from his first save of the season.
Mark Ellis 0 for 3 tonight. Looks at a strike. Off the end of the bat. Back and forth with velocity and movement. John Roush can be very efficient and very effective. 21 saves a year ago for the Twins.
He knows how to pitch in these situations. The end of the game doesn't affect him. Been around for a while, but keeps pumping pitches in there.
Pops this one up. This should do it. Shallow right field. Hill is back. Rivera calls for it. Blue Jays win. John Roush comes out, punctuates the ball game. 2 quick outs in the ninth. Jesse Litch, the winner. Travis Snider, a 3-run home run. His first of the season, came back in the 4th inning. That's all the Blue Jays would need as they hold on. Take the first 2 games against Oakland.
Jesse Litch setting the tone for this ball game. 7 strikeouts. Pitching into the 7th inning makes John Farrell's job a lot easier. Let's don't forget about Junel Escobar. Had to leave this ball game after banging his head on the knee of Andy LaRoche, the third baseman. So we'll hope that everything is okay with the shortstop.
Escobar with 3 more hits in the ball game tonight, including his 2nd triple of the season. We hope to see him tomorrow in the lineup. Now it's time for the Connected Postgame Report with Jamie and Greg live from the Blackberry Broadcast Studio at the Rogers Center.